Okay, so it's Q&A time. Q&A time. It's been a while. I'm really bad at this. We've done about 3 Q&As on the entire channel, but we're gonna make it up this time because we've got a lot of big questions to answer. So let's get right into it. We want behind the scenes of your videos. You know what? Let's just do it. That's my microphone over there. We've got softbox, and cables. That's not great. Is my room the only room in your... Am I missing something? No, it's not. There are other rooms in the house. I don't know. Yeah, no. In my first video, I was using my dad's old camcorder, which was not the worst camcorder at the time, but if you consider the quality of the video equipment we're using now, it was really, really bare bones. It also didn't help that I didn't have a clue how to use a camera at the time. The future of Touch ID, I think, is non-existent. In fact, the iPhone X is really just the start of that. The iPhone X introduced Face ID, and as soon as that becomes a little bit more reliable, that is the next logical step after Touch ID. It's more convenient, and therefore Touch ID is eventually going to be phased out. To be honest, I'm the kind of person who never really sits down and thinks, how do I pass this time? But sometimes when I really want to get away, when I really want to have a break, I'll normally pop down to London. I'll go see some of my friends there. That, for me, is normally quite a nice thing to do. For me, it's going to be Marquez from MKBHD. I'm sure for most of you guys he doesn't need much of an introduction, but he is considered by a lot of people as the best tech reviewer on the planet. And I think he really deserves to be where he is, just because after watching his videos, they are the most concise and precise reviews I've ever come across. Kind of a weird question, but I'm gonna say anything but a BlackBerry or a Windows phone. Okay, this one's something I can really relate to because 6 months ago I was doing exactly the same thing. I was finishing my uni degree at the same time as trying to balance YouTube. It's pretty horrible. I mean, YouTube is one of those things that just doesn't work at all unless you do it consistently, and trying to manage that when all these assignments and deadlines are flying at you, there are all these things you want to be doing with your family and friends while you're at uni, it feels a lot of times near impossible, and it just requires some seriously precise time management. My main job besides YouTubing is my full-time career, something that still feels kind of weird to say to people because you almost can't quite believe it in your own head, but yeah, that is what I do. Ever since I graduated, I moved straight into full-time YouTube. Okay, so from Vlad and Angel, can I speak a bit of Romanian? The answer is no, and that's going to be pretty obvious in a second, but I pulled off a sentence from Google Translate, so Bună, ce mai faci? Down the lane in 10 years, to be really honest, right now, I don't even think I have a solid 2-year plan, let alone a 10-year one. The only one thing I'm sure about is I want to make this channel something really special, and I'm crazy determined to not stop until that is achieved. Not many actually. That video was a real slow burner, and I remember actually forgetting about the video for quite a long time, and then I checked it again a couple of months later, and I was like, oh damn, that's on 20k views. Do I want to do more collabs? Yeah, like, I seriously do. I think they're great. They're really good fun. They just take a lot longer than a normal video to make, so in terms of trying to fit it into a schedule where you're uploading every day, it's tricky, but I'm working on it. Why am I holding 2 phones in my profile picture? That's a really valid question. The reason for that is one of those phones is the iPhone 8 Plus, one of them is the Samsung Galaxy Note 8, and that photo was actually taken by Marcus from PC Centric when he came over to mine and we were testing out the cameras of the 2 phones, and he was just like, Aaron, stand here and pose for a picture, and for some reason the first thing I thought of doing was looking like I was having 2 conversations. Okay, I think this is a really interesting one. Personally, as a reviewer, I think it's quite important to not be a fanboy at all. I think it's really important to look at a piece of tech in a really objective way and just analyze it for what it is. So I use Android on a day-to-day basis if that answers your question, because I like the customizability and all that kind of stuff, but at the same time I can really appreciate a lot of the good stuff Apple has done with iOS. Okay, 2 questions. Number 1, yes, I will be at MWC 2018. That's held in Barcelona, I think it's around March time, and I'll be going there, so if you guys are planning on going, shoot me a tweet and we'll do a meetup. And I think the reason I like tech is because it's an industry that is always moving forward. If you look at fashion, if you look at design, they're kind of areas which they go up, then they go down, then they go sideways, then they go back and then forward, and it's very difficult to tell where you're at with them. Whereas tech is just getting better and better every single year, and that's always kind of exciting to see. Strangely enough, my favourite day of the week is actually Monday. It almost feels like a bit of a slowdown on Saturdays and Sundays when post stops coming and emails slow down. I really look forward to that kind of stuff. Okay, so when I started, i.e. originally started the channel, I had no goal whatsoever. It was more a case of, oh look, this is cool, let me throw it on the internet and see what happens. As for where we are now, you might know that recently we just became the largest tech channel in the entire UK, which is next level crazy. And also, we are growing at a ridiculously fast rate. This channel has been hitting 2,000 to 3,000 subscribers every single day. That is off the charts, just ridiculous. And if you told that to me a couple of years ago that that would be the case, I would have laughed you out the room. And I suppose the long-term goal is to become the most engaged and loving tech community on the planet. But that's going to be a bit of a while. Okay, big question. A lot of people have asked me, what car do I have? What's my new car? What vehicle do I drive? I think it's time to finally show you. Okay, yeah, so the answer to the question is, right now at least, I don't actually have a car. For the most part, I actually prefer to take public transport because you can just work while you're travelling, whereas you can't obviously do that if you're driving. I am planning to get a car at some point just for the convenience of it, but I just haven't got round to it yet. Why isn't any other company trying Samsung's Edge style display? I think there's 3 possible reasons for this. The screens are too expensive to make and companies don't want to price their phones at $900, but also it could be because Samsung is very ahead when it comes to flexible displays. It's also very possible and kind of makes a lot of sense given how much they've invested in this technology that Samsung has some patents there too. Weirdly enough, I have actually thought about this. Something that I think would be really useful is to get a smartphone case that's covered in solar panels, which then charges a battery that is built into the case, which you can then use to charge your phone. It's one of those things where if you ever get caught in a situation where you've got no battery, you've got the sun. I don't really have any favourite tech brand as such, but I think that any company that can make a product that just does what it says on the tin without any hassle, that is as wireless as possible, and is presented in a minimalistic way, is doing well in my books. So guys, I really hope you enjoyed the Q&A. It's something I don't normally do on the channel, but I'm hoping to start doing a little bit more regularly. So leave your questions down below for the next Q&A, and with that being said, my name is Aaron, and I'm signing out.